All right, Dan. We're picking up this 2018 Kia Sorento. Take it out for a drive.
You're watching Grab a Gear, and I'm Dan. Here we are in this 2018 Kia Sorento, and we're about to go for our drive. I'm in drive. So this 2018 Kia Sorento comes equipped with a 3.3-liter V6, factory all-wheel drive with a locking differential, which is kind of nice in the awful weather you're seeing us here. The EPA rates this at 17 in the city and 23 on the highway, and I can say that that's exactly what we got with it. It's not exactly fuel efficient, but it's not a complete pig either. I'd like to give a special thanks to Kistner Motors here in Grand Junction, Colorado. They let us use all these vehicles that you guys get to watch on this channel that we come down and test for a little bit for you guys. But if you're ever in need of a vehicle, come down and talk to Colby Wells here. Him and his family have owned this dealership for a little over 20 years now, and they've always taken really good care of us by giving us vehicles to actually try out so you guys can see how everything is. So come down and give them a shout. So inside this 2018 Sorento here, we have one of my, I guess, favorite features, which doesn't make a lot of sense because it doesn't really do anything. It's you have the palm swells on the steering wheel for like ergonomic comfort, like you're racing a car, even though I have nowhere urgent to be. Like, I don't know, it's just one of those fun, like, oh yeah, it's 10 and 2, here we go, safety first kind of thing. But just a silly little thing that I appreciate, which doesn't make much sense. But like most vehicles these days, you have all your buttons and controls you could ever need on your steering wheel here. Hello. But you have a phone, all your voice activation, and anything you need to scroll through your menus, which, I mean, cool. Has everything you ever need in a car. So the center console here has a lot of features that, I mean, think you almost don't see anymore. You actually have a DVD CD player there for the media center in the console. Has all the different buttons you need for anything you're going to need on your media center. Then it has physical volume knobs, which I really appreciate still. And then you have actual climate control buttons for each selection, so you're not having to like turn your dial or push some mode buttons, cycle through. Then you have two auxiliary plug-in, or not auxiliary plug-ins, two 12-volt power supplies. So if you want to have more USB or an actual direct plug for your phone, you do. And then you actually have an auxiliary port, which I guess a lot of phones don't actually have anymore now, but that's neither here nor there. And then one USB port, which is phenomenal. And the center console also has a USB port, which is a little nifty extra there, so you're not having to have your 12-volt power supply separate inside there. So this vehicle has 3 different drive modes. You have basic, which is just, there's no drive mode. The first one you press goes into eco mode, and then your second press goes to sport, and your third brings you back all the way to nothing again. It also does have a locking differential for all the all-wheel drive action, which is actually very nice, since a lot of all-wheel drive systems are just kind of, they go as you need them, but you can actually lock them in for, hey, I actually need the all-wheel drive. I don't need the computer doing it for me.
So you guys, again, didn't think I'd be in the video, but here I am. So Dan got to drive this one. I got to drive a different one, which we will be reviewing soon. But I will say this one, decent seats on the passenger side, plenty of leg room. I do like that. Glove box, definitely nice, has a ton of room. When I got in here, I was surprised by it. I did actually point out to Dan that I like the soft touch. Most of it soft touch. There's a little bit of plastic, but a lot of it is soft touch. So seats, pretty comfortable. I actually like it. And you have good headroom. You know, I'm 5'9", and that's how much I got. So not bad. And, you know, for a Kia, they've come a long way since back in the day. So cool.
So one great feature about this Kia is I can totally take a nap back here. As you see, both rear seats actually do like recline, so it's actually quite comfortable if you're going to be on a long road trip perhaps. With 4 adults, you could comfortably actually, you know, go see all the national parks or something in the United States in this thing. This seat is still set up to where I was driving around, and I have plenty of leg room here and plenty of headroom still. But yeah, just being able to get a nice little recline action for a little bit more resting space, it's phenomenal. Climbing into the 3rd row seat is awkward at best, especially as an adult, because the 2nd row seat doesn't actually fold up out of the way. It just folds down so you can climb over it to get access to the rear seat, which is just one of those little quirks. But family of 4, you'll never need it unless maybe your kid has a friend you need to throw back there. But otherwise, you can keep the 3rd row all the way down flat, and you have plenty of storage for groceries, your duffel bag, or wherever you're going to do or haul stuff around with. So the rear seat does have its own little climate control vents. You have an on and an off, but then you have two vents, one for either passenger there. And you also have one USB socket and one 12-volt power supply socket, which is, I don't know, get your phone or your Nintendo Switch charging perhaps, huh? Ugh. Amazing.
And how are the seats, Dan?
I mean, it's a basic third row, super stiff, and I'm definitely too large for these. But it's definitely odd that you have to climb over the back row since it doesn't actually fold all the way forward. So I definitely feel like I would be 100% stuck back here. I mean, sure, I fit, but it's not going to be by any means comfortable. I mean, maybe in college, hey, you got to get to that party. Things will be made, but come on, this ain't happening. Ta-da! So with the rear here, you can see this Kia has plenty of cargo space. Even with 4 adults, I think you could easily fit in all 4 of your bags or 6 of your bags, depending on how much your significant other there loves to overpack, because let's be honest, we all need just like 2 pairs of socks, and you can wash everything else in the sink. It's fine. So one neat little feature about this is, let's say you're loading up for your road trip, or you bought a few too many items at the Costco or Sam's Club because it was a screaming deal, let's be honest there. But you're like, hey, I'm kind of a lazy guy and I don't want to walk around, so let me fold down that real seat real hard there, and voila, more room for all your goodies. And both sides does that, by the way. Yeah, but yeah, just one of those neat little features, so you're not having to walk around real quick and just, hey, more room, there you go. So does anything on this car scream, hey, look at me, I'm the hottest thing on 4 wheels out here on the road? No, but dad bods are in, and this is definitely a dad bod of an SUV. And that's okay, because it still works and does what it's supposed to do.
Go for it.